welcome to yet another edition of POS. I know some people said last week Bobby's audio was a little off, but you know what that tells me? You were listening. That's all that matters. His audio wasn't off. He was just close to the mic because he was excited. I'm not close to the mic because I'm not excited. But you know who's always exciting? Our guest. Bobby, tell him about our guest.
You know what it tells me if people think my audio is off? They're wrong. That's how I wanted to come through, all modulated and shit. So get over it. Joining us tonight's a very fun person. You may know him as an animator. You may know him as a comedian. You may know him as a coworker. He's basically the Kid Cudi of Connecticut because he's got 99 problems and they're all bitches. Whether it be the crazy lady at work or other comedians at open mic saying, hey, you can't say retard, but I can call you a moron or idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the retard himself, Dan Brown.
Hey, everybody.
Retard himself. What was that guy's name on Jackass? It was something himself. Do you remember?
Himself?
What was it?
Was it Wee Man?
No, it was like another guy, but it was like a name than himself. It was I forget what it was, but it was one of the like deeper characters that wasn't in it as much.
It wasn't
Something
Wee Man.
himself. What?
You're sure?
Yep.
It wasn't Wee Man.
No, because that Wee Man's name is Wee Man. It's a different guy. It was something himself. When you looked up the Jackass cast, but no one cares. But anyway, Bobby, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there, living the dream. How are you?
Good. We got some comments this week on YouTube. Someone was like, "This show is great because it's about absolutely nothing." Was the first comment. I'm like, "Oh, like Seinfeld. We're like Seinfeld."
Boom, 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 boom.
Right. But
Did
then the
Seinfeld
other thing
kill
was
himself in the end? Because
someone else. Then that person commented again and said, "Imagine being such an asshole that you get mad when someone doesn't get your Greek reference." And that was at you.
that guy sounds like a fun time party.
I like him a bunch. The BS Live people commented too. Remember them?
They liked it? Our new
They
friends?
just said that it sucked them into a vortex. I don't know if that's good or bad. Sucking's always good, I think. Rather be sucking. That's my bumper sticker on the car I don't have. It's fine. How's it going with you, Dan?
It's it's going okay, I guess. I'm working, doing mics and stuff, arguing with people, trying to be as antisocial as possible.
That's not working because I've seen people. You've been doing shows with me, and folks have talked to you, and I've seen it. And you talk back.
Yeah, you're right. I have been like being more of a human lately.
Yep, we went to an open mic last week, and people were chatting with you at it, and you were talking about before about saying Bobby did the intro, but you were saying before the show started how people were getting mad at people saying certain words. Maverick, who was the host of this bike, started off by saying, "I want it to be back like the old days. I want everyone to say," and he said the F word, he said the N word, and then he said retard. So I went up and I was like, "Well, I'm doing a 5-minute set, and at least 3 minutes are on retard." That's just what I do. It's just the paint I color with. But and I said, well, I don't want to leave that one out, so I can't say the third one. I'm not allowed to. But you two are the most wonderful faggots. That's how I started the mic, and it was fun. I think it's funny that younger generations are now like, let's be edgy and tell people we're gonna say something because we don't care. When like my dad wasn't like warning you, he just called you it when it was time for dinner.
I always remember like when I used to do that brawny paper towel guy bit.
I used to love that bit.
Where I would like talk about how I was too self-conscious to wear flannel shirts because I'm too weak looking. And then, and in the bit I'd say the F word. And then like Ray Costco would always at the end of my set, like if he was hosting, he'd like, give it up for that faggot.
Always fun. Bobby, do you work with a guy when you do Earl David Reed stuff? Does he put limits on like, hey, don't say these words?
No, I've never had that conversation. I think that said, I think Earl tends to only work with people who can read a room enough to go, this isn't the time to use that word. You know, like most of the time it's family friendly. I think there are certain words that are obvious. Most comedians, they just expect you aren't going to use. You know the word I'm referring to, but like he's been pretty good.
That one, yeah. And I know some people say to me, that's not fair. You shouldn't say one word worse than the rest. I think that's to everyone's interpretation. The way I've always looked at it is I have no problem using any word that I can explain my. Oh, you asked a question, or you're moving your camera?
No,
Buddy?
the word is the N word, just so everybody knows.
Oh, no, I know that.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, no, I was going to ask a question. I didn't realize. I forgot about the gesture thing. My bad.
Okay. No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the reason I'm saying that is I don't say that word. I'm not going to get. It's not like a joke thing where like because midgets aren't slaves or whatever. None of that shit. For real, I feel like that's the only word that was only built out of hate. Every other word can be used in other ways that I can say and make jokes up and about it. You know what I mean? I can flip and turn it. I would be trying so hard to find a reason that I would ever use that word in a way that wasn't in hate, being that I'm a white male, whatever, that it'd be ridiculous for me to even use it, and I never do use it, and I don't. But that's why I never use that one. I will paint the room with the word retard because, I mean, shit. You can see me. I talk about how it came from the French, what the definitions are of it. I never use it towards a type of person. It's always someone called me it, or my dad used to say it, or it was this thing, or whatever. But the other word is just the only one that I can think of that was made completely out of hate.
Well, and I mean, plus, as far as the R word goes, you're Irish, and Freud said the Irish mind was too retarded to handle therapy. So, I mean, you're a stone's throw away.
Yeah, but I'm going to therapy.
Well, I think you're wasting your
that
money.
Freud, you retard. Freudtard. That's my new term for someone who thinks they're smart, but they're just dopey. Yeah. Remember when he got ate by that tiger, Siegfried and Freud?
Yeah. I don't think I'm smart. I just know what I don't know.
That's always a fun thing. Well, speaking of fun things, Bobby, do you have something to fuck yeah?
Yeah. This weekend, Phantom Power, Millersville or Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Phantom Power.
Yep.
I'm asking. I don't know.
It's a super new club.
Oh, it's a club.
Definitely.
I thought it was like a comic con, the way the name
was planning to be there and super excited in what I wanted to be doing. So come out. I don't need an emotional win at all.
That's a fuck yeah? You sound like you were sad.
No, it's the best. Come out. I definitely don't need an emotional win. There isn't a lot riding my mental health on this show.
Okay, but I'm confused. Is it a comedy show you're on?
Yeah, I'm featuring.
Oh, explain it a little.
It's just a show. I'm super excited.
It's at the Phantom Inn?
It's called Phantom Power. It's a new club in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's right by Millersville
You're
College.
On the show. Who else is on the show?
It's an Earl David Reed show.
Yeah. And you're going to have a big crowd because Earl's always a great crowd. You love those. Everybody come on out and see Bobby. That is a fuck yeah. What are we doing?
You asked me what was my fuck yeah. I gave you a fuck yeah, and then you yelled at me.
Fuck yeah, I'm doing heroin.
Yeah, no, it's great. I definitely feel like my career is progressing in the direction I need it to. Doing the same gigs I was doing 6 years ago.
Big fucking win.
I'll take it. Thanks, buddy. Can always count on you. Unlike certain people.
What? You can count on Dan Brown.
I mean, he didn't give me a woo when I needed a big win. He just laughed at my pain. But I think we're connecting emotionally.
He was laughing at me wooing.
I was laughing because like sometimes I feel like I'm an emotionless husk, and I was like, Bobby's kind of like me.
Yeah, that's why I like you both.
That's what I meant by that same emotional connection. I just didn't want to say we're on the same autistic spectrum, but you knew what I meant.
You guys are on the Phantom spectrum. That's the club you two go to. You were just ghost tards. It's fine.
No, the real fuck yeah for me was Saturday night. I did a show with Earl, and I got there a little early, and he needed me to set up the mic. But he was like, call me. And when I did, he was like, hey, some of these shows, I'm just going to use two people, a feature and me, and it's going to be you, man, because I think a year from now, you're not going to be doing these anymore. You're not going to need me. And that was like a real cool conversation to have with somebody. Unfortunately, he's one of those people Dan likes to use the slur of because he is off base. Other than him, I'm not getting shit right now. Although I guess I got a couple things in the future. Looking forward to it. So
You got 2 things with me. What the fuck? When?
I was just trying to set you up to plug, dude. If you look at right below me,
plug that shit now. It's fine out. Fuck yeah. You're with me. You can't get shit from me. Then what the fuck?
no, I love working with you, and I am super excited because not only do we get to do your album taping, as you can see below me so beautifully, February 17th and 18th, we get to work together in theory the weekend before.
Not only in theory, but in reality.
Oh yeah, we've sold enough tickets.
Oh, you mean I can cancel? I thought you were just saying
I've heard this story before, Pat, that we have a show together.
But I saw it promoted a lot more.
Yeah.
And I saw he tagged us in things.
Mm-hmm.
And he promoted, and I think it's because I'm not trying to shit at all. I think it's gonna be great. Timothy's known as a guy who puts on great shows always. I think he overshot what he thought people would do on New Year's Eve at that time, whatever, and it just didn't work out. And I think also because, he might have had a show, might have thought, hey, they don't want to come to the show unless a few people. You and I would have gone for 2 people. He was probably like, I don't want to be embarrassed if the turnout's not tremendous. Let's just move it back. And I give him all the credit in the world. How many people would have done that and did not recooked us?
No, I couldn't agree more with you, and I was just kind of teasing. I'm looking
so
forward to
am
that
I.
show.
I mean, I know we're teasing there.
But you're absolutely right.
I got your. I'm not trying to say like don't make fun of him. Don't have fun. I'm just saying I'm looking forward to it because I like the guy. He does good stuff. Your boy Kish fucking commented on it. How old of a picture is this of Bobby? It's just like you're 100.
It's a good point though. That's a decade-old picture of me at this point.
Yeah, but you're not old enough to have a decade-old picture.
That's from 2016.
That's not a decade ago.
Okay, it's close enough.
It's really not. When you get older, someone says I have a decade left to live or 7 years left to live.
Lucky.
I'm like, that's a lifetime more.
Lucky.
I think I'm gonna live for a fucking while. So what's your fuck this?
Do you really want to do this with Dan here?
Is it fuck me?
Well, I mean,
Wow, that's a sexual movie.
I mean, it is.
Fuck me with Dan Brown. I would watch that show. You walk around situations and go, "Hey, do you guys have skim milk?" And they're like, "No." Fuck me. And the music plays, and you just go places. So fuck this. Bobby?
I didn't think of one.
All right.
I'm just kidding. No,
fuck yeah.
My fuck this is that people just keep bickering. Just be friends. Like friends stop stabbing other friends in the back. Everybody just smile. Be friends. That goes like personal life. I'm fighting with my friends from high school all the way down. Everybody just love everybody. Everybody's had enough of stress the last 6 years.
They're fighting with you or you're fighting amongst themselves?
Both.
And
it
you
seems
have to
like,
say that to yourself.
Well, it also seems like the main thing. Well, hang on. It seems like the thing I'm doing that irritates everybody universally is trying to not engage in the bickering. Like somebody wants to come gossip and just be like, dude, I'm trying to stay out of all this. That just seems to piss people off more than literally anything.
Understandable, because some people, that's their way of conversating. And maybe it's a way that you spoke with them in the past. So they're like, oh, do you think you're better than me now? Possibly.
Yes.
Some people just thrive in dirt, and some people don't want to be in the dirt. And I understand that. I'm not really a big old gossip guy, but I know people that like to do that. So I'll let them say their things, and I'll kind of go, oh, wow, really? I won't jump back in, but I'll allow them to do their shiz talk.
That's the one thing I've been trying to work on to make it about me and not like putting the problem on other people, is trying to find a way to communicate, hey, like I'm trying to this isn't me neglecting you or not wanting to pay attention to you. It's about me trying to find mental health or peace in my life. You know what I mean? Like that conversation is something I've been trying to work on.
But people that are telling you a thing want you to know more about their opinion. And then when you do that, you're actually saying, hey, I'm trying to be healthy. All they hear is, oh, he's making it about him. So unfortunately, you have to speak back in their selfish talk to them and not say, hey, I'm going through a mental crisis right now. I guess I'll just waka waka it with you and not care.
No, I am making it about me. If you're gonna be my friend, I'm a narcissist. Dan, what's your fuck this?
Well, first of all, and did you notice that in his fuck yeah, which was a good thing, he's like, yeah, I've got this show. I might kill myself. But when it was fuck this, he goes, fucking people, right? It's all about me, bitch. Like, you were more excited for your fuck this than your fuck that. I get why your friends are fighting.
What's that Matchbox 20 song? I'm not healthy, but I'm not well.
There you go.
No, I'm not sick, but I'm not well. That's what I meant. I said a double negative, which is probably more accurate.
That's probably better. If we didn't have a guest, that'd be the name of the episode.
It's a little bit of a Freudian slip there, huh?
I'm not healthy, but I'm not well. Dan, what's your fuck yay?
I'd kill myself, but I'd go to hell.
Unlike that piece of shit Bobby who just bickers and argues with everybody, I appreciate Pat, who's putting me on a show on March 25th, opening up for the king of rock and roll, Elvis himself.
Dan, I didn't tell you. There's more. I got messages today. So Dan and I are going to be opening up for, it's not only opening up for an Elvis impersonator, it's an Elvis experience. Dude, it's almost sold out to the point where they have to open up the walls to. So we're already at like almost 300 people at it. So they might open another room to make it about 450 of this giant bar called Chicago Sam's in Cromwell. And they're going to have an Elvis experience. You can go there and take pictures with other Elvises, and you can listen to music and hear things. There's going to be Elvis talk, and everyone's going to be dressed up. So we might have to wear like dressed up.
Oh no!
I don't know. If we show up in hoodies, they might be like, "What the fuck?" Anyway, they're all fired up for it. Like, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be all kinds of Elvis music, Elvis bands, and then they wanted to have comedy at first. It's the people that got us this gig are the ones who saw us do that birthday party. So I know they don't think we're like a bunch of Dean Martins or some shit, but like we don't fit. But it's gonna be a blast.
I got a new fuck this. I don't get to do the Elvis show. I grew up in fucking Memphis. Graceland was my backyard.
To be fair, they didn't book Dan either. I was just like, they got me, and I'm like, hey, you want to come? Bobby, you want to come? Fucking yeah.
I'm only going to come if I can be an Elvis impersonator, though.
You can't ruin it.
I wouldn't ruin it. Pat, what part of I grew up in the 901? Don't you understand, all right? You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Crying all the time.
Yeah. No, I'm crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. I'm crying all the time. I'm gonna walk. Well, the thing about me that separates me from other Elvis impersonators is I only do two eras: the gospel era and the war era.
You do the ghetto? In the ghetto.
Because if there's one thing that she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto. Dan Brown, I see you smiling. Tell me that wasn't fucking good.
It was good.
If you closed your eyes,
it was
could have
good.
been Elvis.
But Bobby, you also made Elvis about you.
Yeah, of course. I'm a narcissist. That's my new thing. 2023. I'm a narcissist. It's about me, bitches.
Dude, be Narcissus Presley. So you come out with the studs on it and the bedazzle in the back. It says Bobby, not Elvis.
I'm gonna walk them golden stairs. Something about Jesus, but let's focus on me walking up those stairs.
During your time to talk.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna ask, like, who do you think looks more like Elvis, Bobby or the guy who's impersonating Elvis at our thing?
Well, there's more than one, is what I'm saying. There's gonna be several Elvis bands and things, and I bet all of them look not 5'1". You'd have to be little Elvis.
Me?
Yeah.
How tall do you think fucking Elvis was?
I just imagine him being tall.
He tried to join the Coast Guard, but they wouldn't let him because he wasn't tall enough to walk back to shore if their ships crashed.
That is not a thing.
He
was in the Hawaii movies.
Yeah, he wanted to be in the Coast Guard, but they wouldn't let him in because he was too short. Because if their boat crashes, you have to be tall enough to walk back to shore. That's what the Navy recruiters told me when I was thinking about joining the Coast Guard. They're like, "Oh, you're too short. You have to be able to walk back to shore."
They're like,
walk on water? What are you talking about?
Not on water, through the water, you goose.
The joke is they don't
not
go
Jesus.
further out than 6 feet deep. Like they don't really do boating. It was a big dick boat joke, Dan. I didn't like it either. I had your same reaction. Clearly.
I didn't like telling that joke either, but someone had to.
And then I do PTSD Elvis pretty well, which is
PTSD Elvis?
yeah. You're just mid song. You're like, going to the chapel and we're oh my God, Charlie! And then you just start fighting somebody in the crowd.
Oh,
Turns
that
metal.
PTSD Army.
Yeah, Army PTSD. I couldn't think of the best way to do it. Sorry, Dan. Go on. What's your fuck?
I thought you were going to talk about like his daughter died.
His daughter died?
He just did.
Oh my! I can't do this.
Oh
podcast.
no, he's gone.
I can't. I don't know if I can do this podcast.
Lisa Marie Bobby.
So it's Lisa Marie, not Tegan Marie, because Tegan's the porn star. I watched her do some nasty stuff that Elvis would not have been proud of.
I don't think that's his daughter.
It's not?
I think
Okay,
she,
good.
I don't even. To weird. I hate to do this. I don't even think that's her real name.
I thought it was kind of bold using the Presley name for that industry, but I figure, it's Hollywood. Do what you want, right, Dan? What's your fuck this, big guy?
What's your fuck this?
I think my fuck this is my pellet stove. It just keeps filling my house with smoke, and I'm like, I look like the Marlboro Man now because I've been inhaling so much smoke.
What?
Yeah.
Isn't there like a thing that sticks out so the smoke goes out?
Yeah, but it doesn't go out that way. It
Oh.
goes right directly into my face.
That's the problem. It's supposed to blow out, not in.
I'm
Son
not a
of
scientist,
bitch.
but I'm guessing out.
I got that thing. My friend cut a hole in the wall and everything, and there's like a pipe that goes out, but it doesn't. It just goes in my house, and I wake up like a couple times. I've woken up with the smoke detector going off, or like the carbon monoxide detector going. I could have been killed, Pat.
Could have been killed.
Yeah.
But as we've learned, anything that comes into your house and tries to kill you has no chance. Bees, smoke, people, you got them all.
But I can't like get inside Smoke's head. It gets inside my head and then goes on.
Smoke gets in Bobby's head, and then we have this show.
Great show.
See them lasers?
I was going to point out that if your problems had just synced up, they could have taken care of each other.
Yeah, you could have
Like the
fumigated the
smoke.
bees, Bobby. Yeah.
The smoke would have taken care. They would have calmed down.
Yeah, thanks God.
Or Dan, maybe instead of pellets, fill it with weed, and then you'll just be high, man.
Okay, how do I get that? Where do I get that?
Bobby, send this man weed.
You live in Connecticut. It's legal now.
Yeah, legal, Bobby. Dan,
You just go to the store.
Oh,
look, it's been legal for like 2 weeks now.
oh, neat.
Yeah, they got like 10 dispensaries around here, and people are all fired up.
I've never smoked weed before.
Yeah,
Like, I was
you
gonna
would
say-
freak the fuck out.
You've never smoked weed before?
No.
I
Oh, he
think
hates when people ask that.
I think you would enjoy it for the sense that it would calm your brain down some.
Maybe.
Like, you know how I'm guessing if you're like me, you have a million thoughts going at once. Kind of like you jump from you can't. It lets you just wander down weird paths you wouldn't normally go down, and like be like, it's okay.
Sometimes I'm worried, like, because people always assume that I'm on drugs. In fact, just last night, one of the open micer, this lady, was her first time at the open mic. She, like, another comedian was talking about doing a quarter cup of acid, and then she like pointed at me and was like, "That guy does a quarter cup of acid," even though I wasn't the one who said it, and I've never done acid. I've never done weed.
Yeah,
Like,
on
people-
stage when she said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just making once again, just pointing to the guy with long hair being a joke. She doesn't really think you do acid or thinks of you. You
But
have
not-
long hair. She's a hack. That's what happens.
I mean, in
Not
Dan's
everyone's
defense,
on stage when they say stuff like that to me. I
She
feel
was
like-
on stage.
and
But
in
no- but
Dan's
other
defense,
people have
after the
said it
show,
to
she
me.
tried to buy it off of him.
No, she didn't say anything to him because Dan doesn't socialize if I'm not there.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan. I was just trying to tag your joke, buddy.
I just like let's say like if people think I'm on drugs when I'm not on drugs, what if I'm on drugs and I just like go create like what if people just start forming I see bee faces instead of their real faces, and then I just like
Dan,
become a
you're
tornado.
not doing
of
hard. You're not fucking doing like fucking hardcore drugs. You would smoke a little weed. You just be chilling. You really enjoy those sandwiches at the gas station. That's all.
You're gonna giggle that stupid stuff for about 30 minutes. You're going to get way hungrier than you ever should. You're probably going to overeat, but it's fine because your stomach won't hurt. You'll just feel like full. And then you're going to get sleepy. And
You'll sleep real good.
If you smoke too much, your feet will feel like they're sticky. Like they're sticking to the floor. Like walking will feel like you're on the moon or in wet sand. But other than that, you're not going to have a meltdown.
I've never had sticky feet.
Yeah, I mean, I've stepped on gum and soda at the movie theater and whatnot.
I don't think Pat meant literal sticky feet, Dan. I think he meant the sensation I was describing.
Yes, I've actually. I didn't think I'd have to explain this, but okay. Yes, I was agreeing with Bobby's description. Yes, Dan, I have been at the movie theaters when people sold soda and stepped in that.
It tends to happen to newer smokers that try to surpass that, like, oh, you don't get high the first time boundary and just way overdo it.
I'm sorry.
And Dan, never get high on your own supply. Always smoke other people's weed.
Credit?
Okay.
Forget it. You think a crackhead's paying you back? Forget it.
We're not doing crack.
You gave him one of the 10 crack commandments.
Oh, Dan, that is a 10 crack. I'm not good at religion.
And remember, Dan, blood and family, or business and family, don't mix like two dicks and no chicks. One of Biggie's most homophobic lines.
Dr. Seuss is silly. So that's your fuck that? All right.
Now, Dan, in their defense, though, you literally look like the Webster definition of a dirty hippie. You've made no attempt to avoid it, but I would say just give them the Hannibal Buress line, which is, I'm not high, I'm just cooler than you. And then walk away. And then they'll be like, oh, he's not weird. He's mysterious.
He's not weird. He just steals jokes.
I did quote it, so you know. I did cite my source.
Dan would go, like Hannibal Lecter once said, I'm cool.
I mean, I am retarded.
Whoa. You're not allowed to say moron.
Hello, retard. Is that Helen Therese?
Pat, what do you got? Saving
Silence
the best for
of
last.
the retards.
Did you finally manage to silence the screaming of the retards?
You know what goes good with a good retard? A nice Chianti. Wow, and some retard beans.
I'd retard myself.
That's not him, though.
Oh, my bad. I've never seen that movie.
That's
I don't do
Buffalo
scary
Retard.
movies.
That's the other one.
Are you a great big retard?
I've never seen that movie, and like the only reference I had was Joe Dirt. So I thought people that the whole time thought we're just referencing Joe Dirt.
There are people that confuse those movies. They're both great books.
He gets captured by Buffalo Bill, right? Or am I?
No, you're right.
Okay, I was gonna say,
right.
is that a different David
Joe
Spade
Dirt
movie?
Tried to fucking use every other popular movie.
It's a great movie.
Okay, calm down.
I like to see homos
Great.
naked.
Not great. It's tolerable. It's fucking bad.
You're not
What do
wrong.
you call Mike check 1 2? Oh, that movie stinks. Oh god. All right, so my fuck yeah. I guess this could also be a fuck this. I'm not sure. So it's fuck yeah. So like I've talked about in the past, I've been on Chaz and AJ weekly now, which has been awesome. I have a weekly. It's not a set day, but once a week I will be on all morning long. And this week I'll actually be on twice a week. I was on Monday because AJ had to leave halfway through.
That's
Yeah,
100% increase, dude. Congrats, you're taking
Going
over.
hard. It's basically because AJ had a doctor's appointment on Monday, so he was going to leave halfway through. So I was on the whole show, so I could sit in for him in the second half. And I'm going to be on again Thursday. But so Monday, when AJ left, it was just me and Chaz, and they were going to have this scientist on, and he was calling in because there's been a big tick epidemic, like Connecticut, but like around the East Coast, been really bad. And he was talking to this doctor. Was
Please tell me you pretended to have a tick. And
no.
Can you help my tick?
Well, no, he wasn't. If he was coming in and we could do stuff, it could have been fun. But he was on the phone, and he was a very accomplished doctor.
Yeah,
Well,
usually
no.
the most esteemed doctors call into Chaz and AJ in the morning. It
Well,
was
they
him
do
and
get a
Fauci,
lot-
and it was
a lot
neck
of
and neck.
times they do get a lot of people that call in that because they get heard so much in this area, so they do. Um,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. But I'm saying I I wasn't aware of what was going to be happening, so I'm like, I'm not going to have much to jump in. I'll throw in a line or two, try to make it a little bit funny in between. They let me do what I want. I try to be a sniper in that situation. I don't really try to ask a lot of questions, whatever. They say his name, and Daz can't even really pronounce. He's practicing it before because the man is from the like some kind of India place. You know what I mean? It's very Gucha, Mulabi, something like that.
Testing you already, huh?
Right. So I don't have to say it. They're doing it. So yeah, Bobby, this is why I'm bringing this up. Testing me already because he starts speaking, and I'm not gonna do the accent, but we all know the accent. And I'm sitting across from Chaz, and the guy's talking. He goes, "How are you?" And the guy just starts talking, and I become a child. Like, right the second he starts doing like the Apu voice, I'm just biting my lip. I'm looking down, and I'm trying not to laugh. But then I look up,
Like Dan right now.
What?
Like Dan was doing as you're telling this story, looking
Right.
down, trying not to be on screen laughing.
So I make eye contact with Jez. He sees me trying not to laugh. He starts laughing. We're gonna be like, because in that moment, the eye contact also told each other neither of us have a clue what he's saying. It was such a strong accent that no idea what the man's saying, and he's just going on. So now in the studio, there's also two other side studios where two different producers are. They're in another room, but there's a big glass window, so kind of like Bobby, you have at Compound, So the one, but there's two of those like that. So if one is there, Bobby, the second one will be like behind where you guys sit at the desk. There'll be one behind us.
Yeah, so the executives can watch the producers watch the show.
No, there's just two different producers. So it's just like
They
one
each
is
have
actually
their own booth?
yes. One of them is in there because she's the booking producer. She's constantly calling people because they're there in the other room, but she can also talk sometimes. But needs a separate room. The other one is running the board and everything for the show and taking the calls and stuff. So Chaz is facing that one producer and can see the side, but my back's to them. So I turn to the side and I see the woman there, and she catches eye contact with me, and she puts her head down. Now everyone's looking at me trying to try. And as I turn around and I look at the other producer, he's looking at me too, like, what the heck? And then kind of like points forward as that reminds me that, yes, we're a radio show. So I'm thinking no one can see this, but I forgot we're also on Twitch. So the comments have started like, Pat is cracking. I'm forgetting I'm on the air. So the guys talking, I'm like, people are like laughing as I'm trying not, all the Twitch people can see me just dying laughing. So I compose myself. I get a cup of coffee. I'm kind of sitting there. I take a breath, and then he starts talking about things, whatever. And he says how he's trying to reach out to people. And then I said, "Are you on social media at all, sir?" He's like, "No." I go, "Because you should do a TikTok on TikTok." So he laughs. Chaz looks at me like, "You're an idiot." I'm cracking up because I got to say this dumb thing. But and so we have a couple of questions. It goes away. Later on, somebody calls in. At the end, they do like the last 10 minutes of the show where people call in and just say things like shout out things, whatever. And so somebody was like, best line ever. TikTok on TikTok. So, but it sounded it was sarcastic. So I went, F you. Whatever, I tried. So Chaz hangs up on him. A couple more calls come in, and then the guy's voice comes out. He goes, I was being serious. It was hilarious. What the heck? I'm sorry. He goes, no. He goes, no one else would have had the balls to say that out loud to the doctor. So I felt good because I was like, here I am being an idiot, but everybody had my back. I'm trying not to be offended because I do know I don't want to be offensive. It is. I didn't mean to laugh at the person for that's just how he talks, but it was just unexpected. I'm not a show. I'm usually silly. I was kind of proud of myself that I didn't stupidly say something that would have got me not on the show anymore, but able to do it. So it was fun. So fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. What's your fuck this?
It starts off with a good thing. How many times do people ask you who your favorite comedian is? You start listing off several people because you work with people all the time. You know what I mean, Bobby? Like, it changes sometimes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Let's role play. Dan, you asked me who my favorite comedian is.
Who's your favorite comedian?
I can't really narrow it down to one. I'll give you my top 5. It's Bobby, because I spit hot fire.
Bobby Collins, Bobby Kelly, Bobby Darin, the old singer,
Bobby Chappelle.
Bobby Chappelle, and Bobby Lee. Bobby Chappelle's my favorite one.
Bobby Darin was actually one of them we missed.
So, no matter what, if I can't even think of somebody, I'll say a couple people, but on that list always is Louis. Louis has always been my favorite. I've always loved Louis. Before I did comedy, I got to see him. Well, the few people I saw live before comedy. What?
Like that show Baskets?
I want to be in on the joke.
I don't know anything else he's in, so I can't make any other references to Louis Anderson, but I was just trying to pretend like you meant Anderson,
Louis Anderson.
not CK. That was the only one I could think of.
Louis Anderson's done other things besides Baskets, but I wouldn't know what it is either.
Yeah, that's where I was at. Dan, you know any?
Maybe if you said, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Wait. Maybe I was thinking of a different Louis.
That's Louis C.K. Armstrong.
What about
Dicks of Green? Anyway.
No, hang on. What's the one that's gay? Meatloaf died and Meatloaf died and everybody posted pictures of him.
Louis Anderson?
Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah. All right, cool. Then you sang Louis Armstrong and I got confused and thought I said Armstrong and couldn't think of Anderson.
No, so I was doing another one. The joke tweet.
I'm so lost. I'm gonna just take a lap.
You're lost. I was just trying to go like fuck this. You're like, I like baskets. I'm like, yeah, they're good for carrying stuff. I'm more of a backpack guy, but I guess if you're gonna go see your grandma in the woods, baskets are dope. But anyway, I'm a huge fan of Louis. And Louis has on this Saturday, the 28th, he's recording from live from MSG. And they're putting on the site, and you could watch it live. And it's actually not really a special. The actual special with the same material is going to be coming out like a month later that he's already recorded. But you can pay like $25, and you could watch. It started sold out, in MSG from the round. And they're recording it live, so for like 10 days you can watch. So I'm not that I'm going to see that because the Royal Rumble is Saturday, and I'll be watching that because it's fucking Royal Rumble. But anyway, the fact is, because of that, Louis has been doing the podcast circuits, going around being a guest on things. And I love Louis so much. And I love when he's a guest on other people's shows because he's not one of those guys who goes on a show and does the same thing on every show. He kind of goes with the flow of the show and is himself and is funny. So I was excited. He was on Rogan. He was great on there. I got to hear him on that. There's a couple other shows he was on. Then I saw he was going to be on Two Bears, One Cave. And I was like, oh, cool. I'd love to see him with Tom Segura. That's always great. He wasn't with Tom Segura. He was with Bert Kreischer. Man,
oh boy,
was it hard to get through this. Bert Kreischer has one of the most brilliant comedy minds ever. And a guy who got in a lot of trouble. There's so many things you could talk to Louis about. And Bert made every question about him. But watching it was amazing. I put it on Facebook. It was kind of like what I think would happen if Forrest Gump interviewed Ernest Hemingway. It was like one man is like trying to like talk about things but be funny, and then like there's several times in this interview where Louis has to go, "What?" like literally at a question or something. Bert, one point, Bert goes, "I was the first guy to jump off the stratosphere." Now, it didn't start with, "Hey, tell me a crazy stunt you did," or "Have you ever been to the stratosphere, the thing and like the ride thing?" He just out of nowhere said that, and Louis goes, "What does that mean? What are you saying?" So he has to say to him, and he goes, "Yeah, I was the first guy to jump off the stratosphere, the first one." Louis goes, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, the ride thing. He's like, oh, I thought you meant the actual Earth. He's like, I thought you, and Bert didn't even get that. It's like, so every question was kind of like that kind of thing. Like, talking about, like, Bert tried to ask him about death, and he was upset because Louis didn't look at life like he was the only person in the world and everything should center around him. Louis like, yeah, I don't matter. When I die, other things happen. Like, I always never matter. We don't. It's a blip. It's a thing in the picture of the world. It's a screen. It's a big wide shot. I'm not even in it. And Bert's like, no, I'm in it. I'm like the big picture. but he wasn't like kidding. And it was just so frustrating. It's like, you've got Louis C.K. for an hour to talk to him about something.
Pat,
and it was all like,
real quick, I won the chess championship in 4th grade.
That's a big win. I would like that better. If Louis C.K. was talking about his special and you said, real quick, I know you're going to be doing MSG, but I won the chess championship in the 4th grade, dude, that'd be funny, and Louis would have laughed. But he wouldn't even allow that to happen.
You think chess is a fucking joke, Pat?
Just said big win. Are you paying attention?
I don't know, man. I was trying to run with a bit. I couldn't take it anywhere. No, Dan, not now.
Yes, Dan, now.
Do you ever play chess online?
Bobby?
I do.
Let me ask you if you ever encountered this. Have you ever played a person online and they're making like these amateur moves, like maybe they move their pawn out on the side,
like pouring Kool-Aid on the board and going, wah!
Yes, or like moving their rook out the first thing as their first thing, and you beat them like 5 games in a row. But on the 6th game, all of a sudden they turn into Bobby freaking Fischer and they beat the shit out of you. Did you ever have that happen?
Yes. And basically what happens there is they use a machine.
Yes, exactly. I hate that shit. I just feel like they have like a chess computer in the second window, and then they make their move, and they see like they make the move on both computers, and they see what the computer does, and then they make that move in their window against you. I hate playing chess online for that reason.
Absolutely what they do. I actually use that technique. Yeah, big time.
There's nothing that can stop that.
I don't know how they would know what is in your other window though.
Do you remember the vibrating asshole theory, Pat?
Yes, I do.
With Mike O'Donnell, yeah. That was.
Yeah, do you know this?
No.
This is crazy.
So the true story. Hang on. The true story that came out, most people think, is what Dan just described. So, like at the highest level of chess,
right?
That's happening. But the story was, Dan, they couldn't figure out how this guy cheated against Magnus. Magnus figured it. He resigned in like 2 moves and said he knew the guy was cheating, and they were like, I don't know how that happened. And the running theory for a while was he had a vibrator in his asshole that somebody else was using to send messages to from a room.
So when he'd feel the vibrations, he'd know about moves.
Wow. How much? Like what do they do? Like Morse code, like beep 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 beep, or beep, 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 to tell you like I don't know B3 or something.
Magnuson's first move was an H8. And that's how he knew he was cheating, because the guy like came in his pants right away. We did a bit about that on Bobby's Universe. Me and O'Donnell. Was pretty great. You should check it out. But it was fun. So yeah, sorry Pat, we kind of got sidetracked.
No, but fuck that. That's my fuck that. Fuck people in chess for cheating on Dan.
Yeah,
be a man. Play. I played Dan. I'm suck at chess. I would lose every move, but I would never cheat at one point. I would just keep losing and be mad.
Yeah, Brock Cold.
That's not even your real name. Ew.
In 8th grade, I was at chess camp, and I was right on the cusp of being the best player in the second best group or the worst player in the best group. It's a shitty position to be in when you get pulled up to the best group. And we're talking there was a real grandmaster in 8th grade. And then we had
the best player in the worst group and the worst player in the best group?
Yeah. Well, no, it was the A level and B level.
Chess.
It was the A and B level, so top of the top either way. But
you got a grandmaster?
Yeah, over 2,000. Like Evan Ma, he was there, and like
Evan Ma's a real.
It was a 4-week camp. It would run 1 week at a time. You could go to all 4 just 1 week, and like the last 2 weeks, he was a teacher. Just to put it in perspective, so this kid was good. There was another kid named Harrison.
Wait, the student had become the teacher?
Yeah, they couldn't get real adults to get 4 weeks off. But there was a kid named Harrison who was just a master. He wasn't quite a grandmaster.
Oh,
So-
Grandmaster.
So this is Harrison. He's a Jewish kid. So if you want to do the voice, that's a good one. Sorry, I wish this happened against Evan. That's your wheelhouse. I know. I also. But basically, I was pissed because the last day of the week there's a blitz tournament, Dan, 10-minute blitz, and I was going to get my ass kicked all day essentially.
What's a blitz tournament? Just so I know.
10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to play.
You just gotta play. You're not like thinking out moves. You're kind of speed play.
It's faster. It's accelerated. Like a normal game, you have an hour to move all your moves. I have an hour. You have an hour. If your hour runs out, you lose. Vice versa. So 10 minutes, it's a little bit faster, but like a real blitz game would be 2 minutes or 1 minute. That's really no thinking. Anyway, my dad was like, "Why are you mad? Like, you know, you could study." And I was like, I'm mad because I think I'm smarter than this guy, but he just knows chess better. Like he's memorized more puzzles. You know what I mean? He's looked at more patterns. He knows more openings. And my dad was like, "All right, then just don't follow the rules." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's a 10-minute game. Play quick and break all the typical rules. Move your knights on the rim. Move the same piece twice. Get your rooks out early. Give him a position he hasn't seen and just outsmart him." And I beat him.
Use the Queen's Gambit.
No, that's a real move. This was called the Abercrombie defense because I was wearing an Abercrombie defeat shirt as I beat him. That was the story there. And then I played another guy and played the dragon against him, and that was his real opening. And if you beat a teacher, you got a trophy. And he was like, "Oh, this doesn't count." And then when I played dragon, he was like, "Oh, it can count." And then I beat him, Dan, because I'm like you. Anyway, go ahead, Pat.
No. Yeah. Basically, if you want to watch the world's worst interview, watch Two Bears, One Cave with Bert Kreischer and Louis C.K. and get real mad.
How mad do you think
second-
gay porn was that they beat him to that title? Two Bears, One Cave could be about a threesome of all dudes DPing a dude's butthole.
that's why they did it.
2 bears in one cave. 2 bears in a butthole.
But I don't think the gay porn industry is that mad. They've got plenty of names. Like they corner the market on most great names. Like they're like, we'll give you this one.
I also think gay porn worries less about the name. They're just like, we're going to show you some cool. It's the professional wrestling of porn. They're like,
I don't think gay porn worries about a lot. Besides,
I think they worry about quite a lot, if I'm being honest with you.
what?
HIV.
I just said besides AIDS.
Yeah, HIV.
Butthole tearing.
Hole clearing. So you said.
No, I
Butthole
said
tearing.
butthole tearing.
Yeah, tearing. Yeah, tearing. But everyone, all porn worries about tearing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not. They're all worried. What stinks being like the trainer for porn? Who's like always there with his med kit. Like, God damn it, gotta come out in timeouts and nurse a butthole back to life. Stay in the game.
Do you think that like they like porn stars just sit in a bath of ice afterward?
I think so. But it's not a bath of ice because they don't have a lot of money, so they go to like 7-Eleven, you know that thing outside, and just sit in that with their butts.
Sorry, Pat.
Yeah,
you were talking about gay porn. I had to go throw up.
But what?
Sorry, you were talking about gay porn. I had to throw up in my mouth real quick. I didn't mean to abandon you with Dan.
You abandon me. I like Dan. I like you. You're not. There's no abandonment. I was just trying to throw in one last joke. But it's like porn. It went south. Like buttholes.
Oh, that's good, dude.
Thanks.
It took me literally 3 seconds to get it, and then when I got it, I went, "That's fucking brilliant."
Oh, I thought you were being a dick like the guy with the TikTok joke.
No, you're just very defensive of your great jokes.
No, because you said it. You said that's good. Like you said, here's my fuck yeah. You're like, yeah, I got a big show. It'd be great if you came. Thanks.
It would be great if people came.
Also,
to my
something else
big
they say
show.
gay porn. It'd be great if you came. Thanks. You just keep fucking my butt. It'd be great if you just.
Yeah, that is true. That's not fun for anybody.
Yeah, I would even think for the guy given, I'd be like, this is so much butthole. I'm top. Oops. Get it? Oops. Anyway. Can we go to our POS story, please?
Before we do that, can I just tell you one thing? It's not a fuck yeah or fuck this. That I saw something, and it kind of epitomized our friendship and why I think we get along so well this weekend. It was a clip going around of two legends. You were discussing two legends on Two Bears, One Cave. It was the legends involved were Norm and Bob Saget.
Mhm.
And Bob Saget was trying to tell this. And I'm guessing you've seen this, Pat, because it was on Norm's podcast, and I know you used to watch it. But Bob Saget's telling this real emotional story about meeting Dean Martin right after his son.
Oh, I know this. This is
So
great.
he goes, so he's just sitting there at the bar, and the man just lost his 21-year-old son. His head's in a martini, and I go, and he wants to meet me, and I go, what could I possibly bring to the table? So I walk over, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I say, and Norm cuts him off and goes, I found your son.
Yeah.
And
One of my
Bob
favorite
Saget
things ever.
just walks off the show. That's the end of the
Yep.
episode. And
Yep.
that describes what you and I do to each other, or try to do to each other on a weekly basis
Yes.
on here. And it was just, oh, it made me laugh so hard.
It's he's in such a Norm voice too. It's I found your son.
I found your son. And it takes Saget a second to process it. And then when he does, he's so mad.
But if you don't want to watch Bert Kreischer having the worst interview with Louis C.K., you can watch the second worst interview ever with Louis C.K. that happened this week. It's with Chris Stefano, which is bad, but not as bad as the Bert one, but pretty fucking bad. Anyway,
What do you think happens? Do you think these guys just get so excited because he is their god almost?
I think that happened to Stefano. The Stefano's podcast. I always try to say this, but I don't like when comics say someone's not funny. They cannot be my cup of tea, but I understand why Chris Stefano is famous and why people, a certain market loves him and the way he talks and does things. I don't like the little silly talk and the code words, but that doesn't mean I don't understand why people laugh at it. I've worked with him. He's a funny guy. He's a real nice guy. I get why people like Bert Kreischer. That's not
It's the shit. Yeah.
shirt off. The Bert Kreischer falls in the same category for me as Joey Diaz, where I get why people like it, but to me that's not a comic. But it doesn't mean they're not a comic. It's just my stupid head and how I take in comics. They're obviously megastars. You know what I mean? Kreischer's doing arenas. It's like he's on everything, but they're just not me.
You remember how you started this with when people ask you who your favorite comedian is? You named two of the people. I rattle off it pretty quickly.
But that's great, though. That's what's awesome about this show and how we're different and comedy in general. I love that people can all like different types of people. You know what I mean? That's comedy is subjective. So I hate when someone says someone isn't funny. But Bert, the whole thing was Bert was just doing a show as if he was doing it with Tom or anybody, just talking about whatever was on his mind, but not taking advantage of the fact that he had Louis C.K. on the show. That's his interview.
That's like the old O&A. We're doing what we're doing. Just feel free to jump in whenever thing.
But the difference was, they talked about O&A. and they
I'm
only
sure they
talked
said
about
great things.
Well, no, it would have been great. It was just about how the hardest Bert ever laughed was when he heard Patrice and Louis one time on O&A, but he didn't explain it well. So Louis like, "What were you there?" Like, "Well, no, I was in my car going to work somewhere, and there was like an old lady or something." He's like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking." It was so unclear. You know what I mean? Like he was just rattling off dumbness. But he was probably also drunk. You know what I mean? And Louis like, "I don't know what you're." Yeah, you remember that though? Remember we talked to Patrice? He's like, "Yeah, I do. Patrice is great." He's like, "That's the hardest I ever laughed." Then a minute later, he goes, "The hardest I ever laughed, like I thought before it was." He's like, he just kept repeating himself. The Stefano was trying to be like over the top zany because he like push things, even though he is that way, to get Louis to also go there. And Louis did go with him on certain things, but other things he'd be like, "I don't know, that's not it." Whatever. And he's like, he would just be like, at the beginning, he's like, "Oh, Louis, where are you from?" He's like, "Eastern Europe, whatever." He's like, "Hungary." He's like, "Oh, Hungary's great. Hungary's like my favorite country." And Louis like, "Have you been there?" And he's like, "No."
That's the Stefano being funny.
Right. No, but then he would explain that while listening to history, he was naming the things that were good about it and stuff. And then of course Louis is just making jokes back. So he would try, but then like one point he was like, "Oh, you love your kids. You talk about your kids." But he's doing saying all this crazy shit. Louis like, "Well, you shouldn't be saying all that stuff about your kids. That's gonna stay on the internet forever." He's like, "Well, you did it because I used to when they're younger, and I realized I was wrong, and I ruined the marriage and all this, and I don't do that now because I want them to live lives." And he's kind of like, "Oh," and he's like, "Yeah, because you can make the decision what you want to do. You can do one or the other, but I think I would suggest not to talk about other stuff. It's like, well, like my parents, well, anything. It's like, you talk about whatever you want. It might just be better for them if you don't talk about them. It was a weird thing. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good. But I love Louis so much. I sat through both these fucking podcasts, so I'm the idiot. Anyway,
Okay, one quick thing before we get out of here, Louis. We like to do this with all our guests. Have you seen the movie Gattaca?
Louis would be fine with that.
He would play along. I would just be more engaged in your reaction to that question because you know where it goes.
Well, no, because I'd be like, my first thought would be, did he do a bit on this? And then I'm like, wait, who was in that? Was it Ewan McGregor? Who was in that one? Because he has that joke about if he had sex with one man, it'd be Ewan McGregor. But was Ewan in that, Gattaca?
I don't know. Let me
Not
look it up
Ewan
quick.
McGregor. It was
Ethan Hawke.
yes.
Yeah, I confused their two things. Their names are dope. But like, yeah, he had that. Louis had an old joke about how he would never have, he would never have gay sex, whatever, unless it was Ewan McGregor. He's so beautiful. And he's like, I would let him rape me. This is crazy.
What if instead of Ethan Hawke, it was Ethan Hawking? I don't know how these people haven't figured out I was born naturally yet.
I do like that in your universe. If it's Stephen Hawking's relative, they also have robot voices.
Is it not a genetic disease?
No, it's not. It wasn't ever a disease. They just all got that.
I come from a long line of cripples.
What do you think they modeled his voice after? This is how we all sound.
Crippleodion. All right. You ready for a story before we get out of here?
Sure. Tell me a story, Pat.
Speaking of gay sex, penis-shaped rock believed to improve performance in bed attracts visitors. By Adriana Diaz. Forget the Hard Rock Cafe. This Hard Rock is the latest tourist attraction. Heyo. That wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? For as bad as their openers are, that wasn't terrible.
No, it could have been hard cock, and I would have been mad.
I don't think you write hard cock in the New York Times.
You do if you want people to read it. That's why it's the failing New York Times. Trump was right.
One guy reading it every week. That's me.
That's why it's the gray lady.
I could tell by the numbers on our podcast. It's you and everybody who subscribes to the New York Times.
That's about it. Men from near and far visiting a bizarre penis-shaped landform with hopes some of its mythical sexual magic will rub off on them or help them find a soulmate. Locals and tourists in Indonesia are floating along the rocky inlets of Sukabumi Regency.
Sukabumi?
It might be Sukabumi, but I'm going with Sukabumi. Sukabumi. Sukabumi?
Isn't that what John Lennon told Rolling Stone when they asked why the Beatles were breaking up? Suki Bloomy?
Suki Bloomy. Regency, West Java, to see the notorious penis rock. That's what they call this landform. Damn it. Decades of erosion and weathering erected a natural stone formation into the shape resembling a man's genitals. Men visit the oddity with hopes to improve their performance.
Where does this bitch get off of genderfying the rock? Okay? Just because it has a penis shape doesn't mean it's a male's genitalia. Sorry, Pat. I just can't stand for the patriarchy in 2023.
I also like that you said, where does this woman get off? I'm like, well, the penis rock, obviously. Men visit the oddity with hope. The bizarre stone can be seen jutting out from an islet. I'm bad at reading. Oh my God, this word. Fuck you. This is not words. Okay? The bizarre stone can be seen jutting out of an islet in the Silulus Paraburuamatutu UNESCO Global Geopark area near Chicapoo Beach. Fuck you. Make better language. This stone has been around for a long time. It may have been formed thousands of years ago, and local people called it a penis rock, said Andy Hayanda, a member of the Sukabumi district legislator. There are myths surrounding it, maybe once a week or once a month, many visitors there perform some kind of ritual. It is said that men who visit there will become mighty men in bed.
Run
Doesn't
that
look
by
like
me
a
one more time.
whole
What,
thing.
what will they become in bed?
Mighty men.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it said lady men. Like it meant like ladies man, but it was just like a bad translation. I was like, wait a second, run one more time.
Like when
People from
ladies grow
Thailand
up.
go all the time. I'm a lady boy now. It doesn't look like a penis though. I'll send you a picture. My penis. Bobby, here's your penis. Hold on.
Let's see what I can do.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's a penis.
No, but it doesn't. It looks like a Loch Ness monster.
More like the Cock Ness monster.
Heyo.
Hire me, New York Times.
They should hire you more like Cock Ness monster. And it's like stories about like some girl model. It's nothing to do with that. You're just like more like Cock Ness monster. Jill Enders is posing in another thing again. The picturesque penis is only accessible by a 30-minute perilous boat journey along the jagged rocks. Footage taken January 15th shows a boat full of men craning their necks to get a snap of the rare natural formation.
People are going on a 30-minute boat ride and craning their necks
in perilous waters.
To look into the Dick Rock.
To stare at a Dick Rock, to hope to become mighty men in bed.
Ay.
I wish you were a native there, and every time people came by, you just go, ay. I would like it because it's some foreign countries, so there's got to be people like selling smaller, tiny penis rocks like to wear around your neck, or like penis balloons for you to buy and bring to your kids. The area is famous not only for the unusual stone penis, but also for the surrounding diving attractions and underwater scenery, Andrew said. Indonesia's phallic formation isn't the first to attract tourists. A penis-shaped rock in Norway seduced people to the Scandinavian country and made headlines in 2017 when locals raised $10,000 to restore it after being vandalized. So, who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it people who think that staring at a rock can make your penis better? Is it the women who go there even though they don't have penises because they say it kind of helps them too, which just feels like they're like, yeah, I could do it too, whatever. Is it the people driving boats there ripping people off? I mean, come on. Like, yeah, I mean, Joe, this monster's not real. Bigfoot's not real. People do tours to see that motherfucker. But if your job is, hey, let me take you on a boat ride to stare at Rock Mountain or Venus Hill, whatever the fuck it is it that? Or is it anybody that thinks that a formation looks like a penis is going to make your penis a better penis? Who's the piece of shit in the story? Dan, go first.
I think the people who think that a rock shaped like a male genitalia those guys are the piece of shits. Because like I one time I was on the Appalachian Trail and I climbed up this big rock that looked like a thumb. It was like a perfectly shaped like a thumb. And when I sit around with my thumb up my bum, it does nothing for me.
I bet you a lot of people call that penis mountain, Bobby. Dan.
They call it what?
You think it's a thumb? They probably think it's a penis.
Oh.
Lesbians flock to Dan's Rock.
His thumb.
It's a fist.
Lesbians just run over to Dan's thumb and like, yeah, I can use that.
Hey, speaking of like genital landmarks,
yeah.
Did you ever look at the map to Sleeping Giant in Hamden, Connecticut? And like there's a tower on the Sleeping Giant, and if you look,
it does look like his penis.
Look slightly to the north. Oh, what's that? The hip. And then when you look slightly to the a hip, and like the tower is shaped like, and it's got this balcony that looks like a ball sack.
Yep. I'm a kid who grew up 15 minutes from Sleeping Giant, and believe me, everybody would even say that, not even from maps. When you would drive farther away and look, they'd go, "There's his head, there's his belly, there's his penis." Sleeping penis.
Head, belly, penis.
In our sleep,
toes, penis, toes.
Yeah.
Head, belly, penis,
rock.
Penis, toes, and eyes, and ears, and here's some more penis. Head, penis, knees and toes, knees and toes. That's one of my favorite songs.
Cut it. That's a gold record.
It is.
I said,
Why isn't anybody
a
remix that one?
head, penis, belly, toes. That's all.
Yeah, but there should be like a rap version of that. I mean, TikTok's done everything else. When you're putting the Bee Gees and AC/DC together, you should definitely do it like DMX does Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes.
That would be well. They did the one about the your ears hang low.
DMX did?
Not DMX, but a group like a rap group did. Remember that one?
Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Your ears hang low.
Do your chain hang low? Is it platinum? Is it gold? Is it shine in the light? Something, na na na.
With a hoe.
When you put it over your shoulders, if it hot, it make you colder. Do your chain hang? And then it raps. Is that your chain? About 24 inches.
You do like
how low I let
head,
it
shoulders, fucking hose, head, shoulders, fucking hose.
Okay, I need a week before this podcast goes out.
No homos. Head, shoulders, fucking hose. Yeah,
I need a week before this podcast comes out. So I can make that song. I need at least a week. We can't put that idea out in the world. There are better producers than me.
So you think it's the people who think their dicks are really hard? Bobby, who's a piece of shit?
I think it's the reporter because she kind of mocks this. Like, who cares? It's better than fucking thinking it's rhino horn. You know what I mean? A species isn't going extinct. A small island's getting some tourism that Pat can't even pronounce. But I do like the idea of this rock. Have either of you guys read the Epic of Gilgamesh?
I know of. I have not.
So basically, the whole thing is he's seeking immortality. It's one of the oldest stories, Dan.
Right.
And he goes through all these other ways that people have achieved immortality, trying to seek it himself. I kind of think The Rock should be that. Like, what's that dude from Juno named now?
Oh, Elliot Page.
Yeah, I didn't want to dead name him. Like, I think it would be a great movie if Elliot goes through all these old traditions of how you change sexes before he finally becomes Elliot through surgery. Like, first he goes to this rock and is like, no, it won't grow me a cock, god damn it. Then he goes to that island where all the girls grow penises, and half the boys' penises fall off at age 12, and, like, he's doing all these quests, and it finally just ends with a hormone doctor.
Well, I think he's got to do more than that, Bobby. Not just that, but first he visits the Grand Canyon and goes, no. And then he goes to Penis Rock and goes, yes.
Okay, yeah, that gives him the
You know
idea.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to look at other things, too. He looks at the ocean and smells a fish, and he's like, no. And then he goes see a light tower, and he's like, yeah. Like, it's...
At one point, he's there with his gay lover, and his gay lover's like, please, you financially ruined us. There's no such thing as Penis Rock. And then Nicolas Cage pops up and goes, if there's no such thing as Penis Rock, why'd I steal the Declaration of Independence? And he becomes the co-host of it, the whole thing. I think there's really
Declaration of Independence.
I think there's really gold here, especially Declaration of Independence, which I talked all over.
It works out really good too. And then at the end, for no reason, Dan comes out, and then Nicolas Cage looks at Dan, and they both yell, "It's the bees! The bees!"
He doesn't understand it, but we're like, trust me, Nick, everyone else will get it. Everyone who's seeing this movie will understand.
Dan, you never saw Wicker Man?
No. Oh, actually, I think I did see that one. Is that the one where
Nicolas Cage puts his head in the basket, yells at the bees, they put the bees come kill him?
Oh no, I saw a different one. I saw the English one.
What's the English Wicker Man?
It's like, it was really stupid. It was like this dude who was like a police officer, and he went to this island where these cultists live. And they're all hippie cultists, and they were singing songs and stuff. And like the soundtrack of the movie was all 70s and cheesy. And he was going around like having sex with these hot ladies, and and like he was solving mysteries about how they would about this weird cult that was going on in this island.
I want you to describe every movie to me.
But anyway, there was like this weird scene where he was like this lady was like singing the song about how she really wanted this police officer to have sex with her, and he was like listening. He was like, whoop. And then finally he was like, no, I'm not having sex with this hot lady. And then he just went to sleep. And then
that's a good call.
Yeah, and then all these like weirdos with animal costumes and like weird things put him in this big wicker man, and they lit it on fire and burned him alive.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's kind of it was weird. It was like so much cheesy '70s music, and then they just burned this dude alive in this act of horror.
And then they do the burn, let him burn.
Burn,
Disco Inferno.
burn, baby, burn.
This is Dan on Lesbian Rock.
Lesbo rock. Bobby, who's the piece of shit in the store?
The reporter. This isn't a
Yeah,
mocking
you-
thing. Like, it's
You
not a
started
bad
doing
thing.
that, then we went to a whole thing.
If we made fun of any other facet of other people's culture, it's a no-go. But if it involves a penis because men are bad, it's allowed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if it was you making, if the story was, look at the ridiculous name of this island with a penis rock, everybody'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Or if you laughed at the Apu voice and it went out on the radio, you'd get suspended. But if we make fun of people looking at a penis rock, it's perfect. Like, fuck it.
To be clear, so I don't get suspended, I was not laughing at the Apu voice. I was laughing at the unpredictability of what was going to happen.
That's, yes. I didn't mean to put words in your mouth or try to get you in trouble.
Leave that to other people. I think the piece of shit in this story is anyone who goes to this place for the sole purpose of thinking that's going to work for their penis. Because, okay, let's say it even does. Let's say somehow by looking at the rock, like when people go to Ireland, they go to the Blarney Stone and kiss it, they think it's going to give them good luck. I mean, yes, their minds are set on having good luck, so therefore they'll notice more things going well than they would when they were normally pessimistic. So therefore they say the rock did it, but in reality, they just had a positive mindset and that helped them be quote unquote lucky. If you're gonna go to a rock and look at it and hope your dick works better, if that's what you're doing, I don't think you're using your dick that much. Because like it'd be weird if you were constantly having sex and then finally having an issue and going, I'll be back. I have to go on a noble quest to the other side of the fucking world so I can go stare at a rock when I can just buy Blue Chew. Like, no, they're going all the way there and doing that. Anytime they have sex the next time, or I'm guessing in reality, just jerking off themselves, that they're going to go, that was so great because I stared at the rock. They're being duped. They're morons. That's not going to work. So like, they're the idiots. I don't blame the people making money off them. Like you said, it's a small little place that found a reason to have a touristy thing. Might as well make some money for morons who are going to come there that can stare at it. I don't even blame the lady writing the article because it's maybe I saw it. There was not a lot of big stories in the news. It was either that one or the one about what's his name, Hamlin, the conspiracy that he had a body double at the football game. I don't know if you saw that one because it was snowing. And they showed in a booth, but it was like behind the snow in a glass, who they said was him, and they couldn't see him. People were like, that can't be him. He can't be standing up. And people were saying it was a body double they were putting there to inspire. But he even said, it was me, dude. It was either that one or Penis Rock, and I would Penis Rock. So yeah, it's the people that go there and think it works.
Good old Cocky Rock. Cocky Rock,
Cocky
fix
Rock,
my
Tennessee.
pee-pee. Nope. Fix my pee-pee.
Oh. Or Cocky Rock 10-inch. Because you're saying Tennessee, like 10-inch.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody with a 10-incher is going to the Cocky Rock. I'm just throwing that out there.
If you're singing about your dick, you got a big thing. Good old Cocky Rock 10-inch. Like, he's singing himself. That's a Rocky Top Tennessee is a stupid song. Anything about Tennessee is stupid, I think. I've never been there. But whenever I think Tennessee, I think football. But then I think Peyton Manning, who has the biggest head in the history of football besides his brother Eli. And then I think stupid. No, I also think Nate Bargatze, he's great. So even though I tried to watch him on Kevin Nealon's podcast where they hike, that was annoying. Kevin Nealon breathing heavy is not a good thing.
It ain't nothing but a big cock. Let it in your cunt.
Let it in your that
It
won't
ain't
get out the
nothing
air.
but a big cock. Let it in your cunt.
Wouldn't it be coming all the time?
It ain't nothing but a big cock.
Coming all the time. Ain't nothing but a big cock. Coming all the time.
In your
Never in a
cunt.
butthole, you'll never be in mine.
That's pretty good. I really wanted to work the word cunt in there, but you found a way to do it seamlessly without. I can't argue.
But I think better would just be like, like Poonhound would just be the natural thing, not God.
Blue cunt. You have a UTI.
You just wanted to say that word.
I mean, waffle doesn't rhyme or like fit into a song easily.
No, that's been the issue. I actually heard one time Bert Baccarat and Elton John were having a conversation, and it basically went,
Waffles.
"How do I rhyme waffle with anything?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm gay." That was the whole conversation.
What I'm saying is basically with meds, you can live a completely normal life. It's non-detectable. It was AIDS.
I know. I know that your joke, but I was stupidly going through my head all the things that could rhyme with waffle.
I feel like AIDS is pretty detectable.
Quaffle is the best I came up with.
Well, I was thinking you could be like, for rolling on the floor laughing waffle.
All right, well, Dan, tell him your plugs because I don't want to be on screen with somebody who made that joke anymore.
Was that the one? All right, Dan, please tell people where they can follow you, check out your things and stuff.
They can check out my things on @GhostieFilms on most social media sites.
Wait, you have a sword and a toothpick?
I have a toothpick and a drumstick that's broken.
Oh, the knife. All right. Is the toothpick actually just part of the drumstick that's broken?
No, my knife. I don't know where my knife is.
Like a cunt over trouble.
All right, so they can follow you where?
@GhostieFilms or on Instagram @DanBrownComedy. And on March 25th, I'm going to be at the Elvis Extravaganza.
Abe?
My big show, this Phantom Power something Lancaster.
Phantom Power.
Super
Phantom
big
Power
show.
That beat.
Very excited. Phantom Power.
Phantom Power That beat.
Lancaster come out, but the big show is Pat's album recording. Thanks, Dan. I really was going to sell tickets to my big show at Phantom.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about that famous Life Goes On episode where Corky was singing that "Fight the Power, Fight the Power."
One of the greatest episodes of all time.
And his parents were like,
"Oh, that's my favorite videos of all time."
Yeah, I would never call you a retard, Bobby.
Dan's fast, guys. He recovered quickly from calling me a retard. Make sure you check out his animations. They're even better than that. Pet, other than your album recording that I'm super excited for, tell them where else they can see you.
Okay, you can listen to me each and every week on Chaz and AJ 991 PLR. You can stream it on your little computers there. Just go to WPLR.com and check that out. You can listen to me there. Also, get over to our Patreon. Join in on the fun. You're getting episodes before anybody else. You're getting bonus episodes. A lot of good times there. My album recording is February 17th and 18th. Get your tickets at comedycraftbeer.com. All one word. Buy your tickets to that right away. My shows at Retro and Derby in March will start being 2 shows a month instead of 1. The next show is February 25th. Very funny, Kevin Fitzgerald.
You got to tell me this before the show. That can be my fuck yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna work out, but anyway, like it'll be fine. I worry about ticket sales. We've been selling them out. I think splitting it. It's gonna be tough, but whatever. Hopefully, it continues the way it's going. It should be great. Whatever. Emily Sierra, Kevin Fitzgerald, Patrick McKinstry, and Colin Canterbury will be joining me on that one. And then I've got a bunch of shows lined up for March already, and more things coming there. And just be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited about the album recordings. Please check that out. But if you are in Western Massachusetts, you want to see me and Bobby, and can't make it down to Hartford, come down the week before, February 11th, to JJ's Tavern in Florence, Massachusetts. There's links to tickets and things of that nature on my Facebook page, and Bobby will be sharing a flyer as well. Check that out. Dan, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you and everything you do. And Bobby.
Hey guys, we've had a lot of fun on this episode of the POS show, but it's time to talk to you about something real. If your vagina's blue, go see an OBGYN. You probably have a yeast infection. And if you can't join them, beat them. And don't be a piece of shit.
Recording stopped.
I didn't know where you're